Hi, welcome to another Who Are We interview. Through this discussion, you will hear from Piergiorgio, Vice President, Head of Revenue Management and Research and Development. Piergiorgio talks about Blastness services, geographical focus, typical client profile, and their backstory. He highlights their web marketing and revenue management tools and consultancy solutions, and he also emphasizes their unique business model, which links their fees to client targets, fostering strong, results-based client relationships. If you'd like to know more, and if you're attending WTM, please visit their stand. Really hope you enjoy the conversation. Hi, Piergiorgio. Thanks for joining us today. Looking forward to having a discussion and hearing more about Blastness and what you guys are all about. But firstly, just thank you for coming on board as an expert partner. Great to have you with us. Great to be working with you over the next year to look at how we can convey what you guys are all about, what your thoughts, insights, and perspectives on things are. Welcome on board and thank you for joining us today. How are you? You well?
Thank you very much, Trevor. First of all, for having us in your home. I'm very happy about it. I'm very glad about it. It's also a nice occasion to listen to some real British accent, which I get. And I'm very excited to be here in your hub.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. Well, what we'll do, we're going to get into, this is one of our Who Are We interviews, which really just gives us a chance for you, or gives you a chance, us a chance to listen, you a chance to tell us about what Blastness and who Blastness are all about. Before we get into that, it would be polite and prudent to ask you to introduce yourself first of all, so at least we know who we are hearing from and looking at.
Yes, I agree, because I always think that we are persons before companies.
Absolutely.
So my name is Piergiorgio, but since we are in an international environment, I would say that Piero is easier. Actually, lived quite a time abroad, and there was no way to make people understand Piergiorgio. So Piero is fine.
Okay.
It's easier.
Piero.
I'm 44 years old, and maybe from 20 years in revenue management. Mainly because when I was 24, I got my degree. I still didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. So I accepted a job that was in the Italian airline. At that time was called Alitalia, to work in revenue management. And I didn't really know what was revenue management. I just knew that I could fly for free as an employee. And so I happened to be there. Actually, it was also funny because even if from my accent you wouldn't say it, I was also speaking good English. So I was in the Sky team. So I was in Alitalia, but we were working together in the joint venture with Air France and Delta Airlines.
Okay.
On the America and Canada routes, America, Canada to Europe. So I was constantly dealing with Delta and Air France, trying to find agreements. And what actually happened, that I really liked this job. I really liked it. And at the beginning, it was just something that I started to do because I will start working here while I get other interviews. But after a few months, I really loved it. Actually, we were also a very nice team, a very young team. A lot of us started there. And I stayed there several years, 4 years. First, because I loved it. I loved that job, even if Alitalia was a company with a lot of problems. But also because I didn't really want to do something different from revenue management. And at that time, so we're talking about 2005, 2007, there were another airlines in Italy. It was already the biggest one. And no other sectors were really applying revenue management. So I was kind of stuck in the middle. Till when actually one of my former managers became head of sales and marketing of a group of hotels, Naples. And he say, why don't you come and we start revenue management in hotels?
Okay.
And I actually didn't know anything about hotels at the time, apart playing with the game, but or watching movies about it. So that is where it started, doing revenue management in hotel. Actually, it was big fun because what happened. I love doing revenue management in Alitalia,
Yeah.
but I don't know if you know the history of Alitalia. It's always a company that is losing money. But I wasn't sure 100% that as revenue management, we were really creating value.
Yep.
When I went to the hotels and I started applying it, I see it physically because I was inside the hotel.
Yeah.
This was a
Absolutely.
very nice confirmation. And actually also another step in my career, because inside this hotel, I met Blastness. I met the founder of Blastness. They were already providing us website and distribution systems. And let's say that was the starting point of the occasion to jump into Blastness and start a revenue management division, since we both agree, me and the owner of Blastness, that revenue management could have a high potential on hotels, and it was a good time to start, let's say, starting this new line of business.
Understood.
So everything started like this.
Understood. So how long have you been with Blastness then?
15 years.
15 years. Wow. Okay.
No, more than 15 years. It was 2011.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, almost there. Almost there. 15 years is a long time, actually.
Very good. Yeah, it is a long time, and you would have seen a lot of changes. So maybe that's a good point to let's do a bit of rapid fire, just some simple questions to set the scene first of all. So, when was Blastness founded?
Blastness was founded in 2004.
Okay.
So actually in October 2004.
Okay.
So in October we were celebrate 20 years.
Very good. And where are you based? Where's the main head office?
Let's say technically we are in Milan.
Uh-huh.
But we have it's more the financial center, and we have a smaller office. The two bigger offices are in La Spezia, where it was founded, which is for the tourists is Cinque Terre. Let's say it's Cinque Terre, not really. It's in Liguria, and maybe the biggest department is in Rome.
Okay. And how big on that? When you say biggest department, how big are you as a company?
As a company at the moment, I think we are 170.
Wow.
More or less. But yeah, I remember I was the first one in Rome.
There you go. So what we wanted to
get all the floors of this of the building.
Yeah.
Just missing one now. Slowly.
Very good. So what we want to talk about, obviously a little later on, we're going to actually discuss who and what Blastness are all about. But before we get to that, it would be just useful to understand a little bit about a typical client profile. So you're working with hotels. Are you mainly city, resort, ski, large, small? What's the typical profile of your client?
Let's say at the moment, our typical profile, the most typical thing is that it's an Italian hotel. It's something that we don't like, we are working on. So our biggest project for the next year is to become a global player.
Okay.
At the moment, we have more or less 1,100 hotels in Italy.
1,100. Okay.
Yeah, a big share. Let's say on one side, we work with everybody. But mainly we are in the, let's say, higher level, which is especially for the Italian market, not only 4 and 5 stars, but we also work with a lot of, I say, in Italian we call it extra albergheros. So it's not technically not, but that they have, let's say, a good potential. We have properties with 10 rooms or 10 keys, I said, but with a good ADR. And we both work in the cities. Actually, in Rome, in Florence, we have a very big share of the market, higher than 20%.
Yeah.
But we also work a lot with resorts, leisure, seasonal hotels, all around Italy. And the thing very peculiar of Italy is that every 100, 200 kilometers, the market changes completely.
Yeah.
So I would say we work with almost everything. And let's say we also have two kind of souls in Blastness. One side is pure supply. So we give technological systems to do that. Another side is what we call partnership. And in that case, we not only give the systems, but we also give consultancy.
Okay.
And part of the of our let's say of our compensation is given by targets. So we set targets with the clients, and while we reach it, we get paid. And this is also the part where we do a lot of consulting. I like many times to say that we are a revenue management centric company, but mainly because our way of thinking is revenue management. We also have a big team. We have 30 revenue managers inside, and we follow almost half of our hotels. We follow in a consulting that can be softer or harder according to what the hotel needs. Actually, what we saw in the time is that revenue management is something really can change. And just buying an RMS is not always enough.
No.
Because it becomes complex at some point to use it, and you need people that know how to use it. So very often we also, with the RMS, we give consulting.
Understood.
That can be arrive at till the outsourcing, but many times it's more setting the system, making them work, and explaining how to evolve them.
Yeah, getting the value out of it.
Yeah, and take value. Even because another thing nice of us is that we also develop our system. So my revenue management team is the first thing that does the request for new functionalities.
Okay.
And even consider that maybe many times we are linked to the targets, we are really prone to do it, not because we have to sell it, but because we really feel that this feature will make us reach the results in a faster way.
I've got you. Could you give us a bit of a backstory? Why did Blastness come into existence? You know, the founder obviously had a reason for it, and then maybe once we understand where you're coming from, we could talk a little bit about what are the solutions, technology solutions that you do provide. But backstory first. What is that?
Yeah. Actually, it's a nice story, but also it's our mission. Our mission didn't change; it just evolved in time, and I married this mission. The founder, who is Andrea, many times in Italian says a sentence that not so easy to translate in the right way by say Blastness was founded for that was a desperate move,
right?
Because it was 2004. And the word blastness comes from a Greek word mixed with an English, the English final part. So it's blastos, the Greek word, and ness is to make it English.
Yep.
So many people think that it's about explosion, but actually it's more about growth. Because blastos is growth in Greek, in ancient Greek.
Okay, I didn't know that.
And our payoff is growing your business. And actually, at that time, Andrea was already starting working in the web.
Okay.
Because it was in the projects, website projects, and also for other, not only for hotels. Then everything started, if I don't go wrong, with a project for Baglioni hotels.
Oh, right.
And so he saw the power of creating websites and doing organic optimization. We're talking about 2002, 2003.
Yeah, early days.
He said, wow, this is, all the hotels should do it.
Yeah.
But what happened? That Baglioni was a very visionary company. So when he started to try to sell this thing to the hotels, many hotels weren't prone to spend money, to invest money for it.
Yeah.
So I say, I will do it this way. I will create Blastness, and I will finance the website, and you will pay me while the results arrive.
Oh, wow.
Okay. It was a desperate thing because I wasn't able to convince. Yes, I was able to prove that it worked, but nobody was then willing to pay.
Yep. So if you gave it to them for free and then just say, just pay me if it works, then they would see it and pay for it.
Which is actually the soul of our partnership scheme. And that when I arrived, it evolved when we started putting inside business intelligence and revenue management. And there, it was very complex to say you should pay me to read the data. usually they don't even read the data. I think that putting together data is a form of art. So it's not very easy for people that didn't do it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So, but using the partnership scheme helped us to, let's say, in a certain way, educate hotels
Yep.
to what they really need to grow their business and somehow working together, because we can really call it a partnership.
Yeah.
Actually, when there was COVID, I mean, we weren't just close from a soul point of view to our clients. We were close also from a revenues point of view
Sure,
to
of
our
course.
clients.
Yeah.
And I think that this is something that is very distinctive of us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something that, as far as I know, as far as I saw, I didn't find it in the rest of the world. So we really believe that we could bring some value going in Europe, going in the US, and the other markets.
So the point that you're mentioning there, when you say you were closed from a revenue, is because you weren't delivering any outcomes for them, because nothing was happening. They weren't having to pay you anything.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. Because
Sometimes 2020 wasn't a nice year also for us.
No, I could imagine. So, as a company, so it started from a website, then from a kind of an SEO related piece. You've spoken about data analysis, BI. You've spoken about revenue management. Can you briefly, do you break down your company by kind of different service offering, different tech? How do you communicate what Blastness is to a prospective client?
Yeah, actually, it's not easy because we are a lot of things. So many times I understand that there's confusion. Let's say I will try to make it simple. I'm not sure if in the end it will work, but let's
We'll
say,
give it a go.
as I said before, we have two souls. We have the systems, and we can sell systems as a service.
Okay.
We also have the consultancy.
And when you talk about systems, let's pick up on the systems. So what systems do you deal with then? Where's your focus in those areas?
I will try to split it in three areas. One part, which is the everything that has to do with web and web marketing.
Okay.
Where our key concept is a concept that maybe we will talk later in another talk. I would like to expose as a web real estate. So it's a simple way to say creating positioning and visibility for the hotels.
Got you. Okay.
Another point inside here, there is all the part that is related to website creations. We actually create more than 300 websites per year.
Okay.
And we do it with an internal team, but also we developed our own, let's say, our own content management system.
Okay.
Because at some point for us it was very important to have websites that were very performing, to be ranked very well on the Google speed page. Second thing that we do, and this was a very nice step that we started doing in 2019, I like to say that we approach web marketing and web advertisement with a revenue management scheme.
Okay.
Which is something I'm very proud about, and I still haven't found around the world. And that actually led us to be today the first provider for number of reservation brought in Italy through Google to the hotels.
Okay.
And we're by far the number one. And so we created an algorithm that does bid management. So to make it very easy, more or less, what the revenue manager do with the price, we do it with the bidding.
Okay. Yep.
The big difference is that let's say also Google has its own algorithms like Performance Max.
Yeah.
But they don't have the hotel data. Right. And this was my point. We have the hotel data. And the hotel data is the main point, because let's say if the room is sold out, I don't want to invest.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I make it very simple.
Yeah.
And third part, we also changed the way we do SEO, so organic optimization. We do it based on performance. So since we have all the data of which are the keywords that are performing, we automate the creation of the let's say the organic building on the keywords that are working, using a kind let's say inspired by a long tail policy.
Okay. Very good.
This is website. Web marketing. Then let's come to more revenue management and data. So we have our own shopping tool and market data tool.
Okay.
So to pick data around. Someone we can get them from some suppliers. Other we get them directly from the systems of the hotel. We put them all together. Then all this data, we squeeze it to take out information, both from a business intelligence point of view. So we give our own business intelligence that is multi-source. So we can have data that come from the web, data that come from the CRS, data that come from the PMS, shopping rates. We put them all together.
Okay.
Mainly because we need it when we do consultancy.
Absolutely.
And then it was also a nice product to sell. But also we have algorithms. One of the main algorithms is the one that we call market gravity. So it's creating by itself the dynamic competitive set. It's no more the revenue that decides the competitive set, but the algorithm say this is the comp set they should look, and so this is the, let's say, data-driven price.
I've got you. Yeah.
And then we have our own RMS that we both use directly, but also we can sell it to the clients.
Got you.
And here we actually did a very specific development, because maybe one of our big focus as a revenue manager and actually differentiate Piergiorgio of 2024 from Piergiorgio 2019, we are very focused on the net RevPAR.
Okay.
While when I was in hotel, since my owner was giving me the incentive on the full RevPAR, I didn't really care if a reservation was coming from an OTA or direct.
Yeah, just take whatever comes in. That's my target.
Whatever comes in. I mean, whatever grows the revenue. But during time, also many times we had targets in Blastness connected to direct bookings, and doing direct bookings is not easy. It's not something that you just switch on. So we started working, and in the last 10 years, we worked very much as a revenue management team to understand how we could also develop the direct bookings. Because in our concept of sustainable distribution, we think that the right thing is having the right mix. And at a certain point, you have to have the right mix of indirect bookings and direct bookings.
Yeah,
you have to
absolutely. Yeah.
So we come out with something that is our, let's say, our buzzword. It's kind of called dual revenue management. So having two strategies parallel that work on direct and indirect. It's something that even this, if you like, I would like to go on and explain better. But we have two different approaches that can be the same or go different. And we actually develop algorithms to manage it, which on some way is something that I will give you this example. Booking.com already does, because they have the algorithms to decide to cut the commission. And we somehow did something similar to play on the rate spread.
Got you.
If you want a topic, we can discuss half an hour about it.
That's another one we could do another time. Absolutely.
I would like to know what you think about it, but we are very proud about it. It's something that I don't know others doing it. And then we also provide all a CRS system, so distribution, and let's say all the part of this connected to booking engine, but also CRM, so managing of direct quotations, and all a set of tools that can be used to increase the direct bookings.
Got you.
So
very good.
I know it's very long, but
no. But that breaks.
Actually, synthetic.
Absolutely, and that helps. It's useful to look at it and understand those three areas where you differentiate the technology focus that you have. Just touching quickly, because I'm also conscious of your time. The consultancy piece. Tell us a little bit about that side, because that's, as you said, you've got these two areas of the business. You've spoken about the technology side. Tell us a bit about the consultancy side.
Yes, the consultancy is something I'm very proud about it, because we started from a room in an office and a couple of us. Obviously, we started as pure revenue managers, but I like to say that we evolved to maybe more data analysts or dual revenue managers. I don't know to call it, because the most senior of us became project managers, so they also manage the partnership projects. Because it's actually a point for us, because when we provide all the systems, but we get paid on targets, if we don't put them all in place in the right way and we're not paid, is a problem for us. But was also for us a very big lighthouse. I mean, we have to find a way to make the numbers go in order to get paid.
Yeah, of course.
It was kind of a kind of R&D development inside, which actually at some point we spin off. So we created our own R&D, and we started developing always more our tools with our technology teams, because we felt that we understand very well what the well need, not just by doing questionnaires,
No, sure.
but understanding what can really change the KPIs. So I like to say we are more than revenue managers, even because we see revenue management in everything as like a revenue management maniac. When I say, I'm very proud to say that we give the approach to web marketing, revenue management based, but then in the end it's data driven based.
Yep.
Which nobody was doing before actually, and still very few companies I think they do it. And so it was a big doubt for me. So would it really work?
Yeah.
But not to say what we have to lose.
Yeah.
So let's say it's very nice for us also having this team, because we really feel that we can give a support to the hotel, especially when you think about the leisure independent hotel. We have very nice hotels like this in Italy, but also all around Europe. If I think about 50 rooms in Sorrento on Lago di Como, they are beautiful hotels.
Oh yeah,
but beautiful they are. But on the other side, if I put on my shirt as a revenue manager and the weather, I would say I wouldn't work for a long time in a 50 rooms hotel, because at some point you want different challenges.
Sure, of course.
So it becomes, for an independent hotel, it can become a topic having also a revenue manager. So having it part-time and it can be helpful. And what I was really looking when I was a revenue manager was the level of discussion. And you feel, I would say, I was feeling very lonely when I was a revenue manager in there, because I didn't have somebody to speak with.
Sure.
There was talking. I mean, I had a lot of people to speak with, but nobody was.
Yeah, but they're not about. Yeah, it's like speaking a different language to everybody.
Yeah. They don't understand you, and it's normal. It's a very niche market. Besides, you cannot share too many data with your competitors. So still, you can talk a little bit, but no, it's not really a big thing. While in Blastness, we have 4 hours a week of meeting, of sharing, where we share our experience, the practices. And this is an important thing to always give big value to clients.
Very much so. And just picking up, I mean, there's a number of elements that every company makes them unique, but I haven't heard of many where the payment they receive is associated with the results or targets that they agree with their hotel clients. That must be fairly unique.
I can believe it. It's not easy. And it's also, especially at the beginning, financially a problem, because you invest before, and if you get paid later.
Yeah.
So it's a complex model to scale it, and I would say that from a certain point of view, when you start, it's easier to be a software company just selling licenses.
Yeah.
But since we managed to make it work, it's an important asset for us. And it's an important asset for us even for this, let's say, internal research or development that we can create. So but I believe that most of companies don't want to do it, because you have quite a big risk. And financially, it's not easy.
No, but I was thinking about the example that you gave, a 50-room hotel in Sorrento. It could be a lot of money for them to look and engage to get the technology, to then get a consultant to be coming in and supporting them. So, but to have a model, I mean, obviously we won't go into the complexities here. I'm sure there's lots of discussions that have to be put into place, but to have a model where their ability to engage with what you can offer in a fairly upfront, risk-free situation, and then to pay you once you're actually delivering. I can imagine that would be quite an interesting conversation in the first instance.
I believe it too. And also, you know what? Then maybe another time you can talk about I like to give names to everything, so it's the magic triangle, I call it.
Mm-hmm.
Because on one side, yes, there is consultancy, but I think also calling consultancy is a bit generic. I mean, we have a know-how in some specific subjects,
Yep.
which is web advertising and revenue management. They are very niche.
Yep.
And also, I would say now I feel I'm a revenue manager, but I know revenue management about hotels. I used to know revenue management airlines. I would be quite rusty. All of my colleagues, they're working in other sectors like
Yep.
cruises, but day one, I wouldn't know how to be a good revenue manager in cruises because there's a lot of technicalities of a certain industry.
Sure.
So on one side of this triangle, we have this important know-how on a very specific and important subject for driving the reservations of the hotel, so the revenues. On the other side, there is software. But what happened to me also, and what often happens to the revenue managers when they're in hotel, they actually transform in the software guy.
Okay.
Because I don't know if something that maybe even this we can discuss it, but it's something that you feel many times. Yeah, you can get a lot of software, but then you have to make them talk to each other. And the integration is not at all easy.
No.
And many times, and then is the revenue manager, the person that has more technicalities to make them work. But it's not that easy. And if they don't talk to each other, you're not putting the foundation to making them work well.
Yeah.
So we also not only talk about system, but we talk about integrated system.
Yep.
And we take care of the integration.
Okay.
And this is the basis. If together this, we also put that part of the payment can be linked to the targets. I say, wow, this is strong.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Let's say from my point of view, obviously, but as an hotel, I would like to buy it because it's it's already the package is very nice.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Earlier on when we were talking about your client profile, you spoke about how the vast majority of your clients are in Italy, but that you are on a plan. Your strategic direction is to grow more internationally. As a final point, do you want to tell us a little bit about that and where you? What is the direction of travel for Blastness? What is your growth within the to use your term?
Well, let's say generally speaking, obviously we are looking to Europe, which is we already have some hotels in Europe, but more as a result of in 1,100 you will have some.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
But obviously Europe is the easiest part, even if the next step they would like it's US, which is I'm aware of it. It might be something difficult.
Yep.
And actually, there's a nice thing that actually one of our clients says. The Excel files are very nice because you put the question and you put the answers. No, so I would say I would like to go here, there.
Yeah.
Then to see what the market, how the market reacts.
That makes sense.
So actually, we are testing and we are seeing. Obviously, there are some markets that are very interesting. You can understand by yourself which one, but we are not so sure that. Obviously, where there are the most interesting market, there's more competition.
Yes, of course.
So actually, at the moment, we are not focused only on one market. We are still exploring. But for sure, I would say that obviously UK, France, Spain are top markets. Top markets, obviously. Yeah. But maybe on the other side, also Mediterranean countries like Greece, but also Albany can be very close as kind of business.
Absolutely, very similar.
Italy, or what Italy was 10 years ago also.
Yeah.
But on the other side, maybe Switzerland is just an extension of Italy, of our Italy. And in the Italian part of Switzerland, we have clients. So I would say, since for our model, we don't have very big numbers of hotels. We have 1,000. They can be a big number, but not a very big number.
Yep.
Mainly because our set of products and our relationship is very big and strong.
Gotcha.
So maybe we might not be an approach where we go to take 2,000 hotels in Spain.
Yeah.
Maybe 100 hotels in Spain could be already very good for us.
But with a very strong relationship. So you have that, you have that retention and repetitive and that partnership.
Exactly, exactly. So obviously, what also we are aware of is that we can just go there with a commercial person. We will have to set a base there because actually was one of the, I think, the part of success of Blastness that we are local.
Mm-hmm.
We are local, and so in creating the trust, it helps.
Yeah, no, that
Uh,
makes a lot of
I
sense.
love Teams. I like Zoom. Also, our parents starting to love it, but still now and then we have to go to visit them. Also have a lunch dinner together, and I also believe it's also part of this industry that I like.
Yeah,
I
it's a
wouldn't
social element as well as a business element.
I don't like to hang out with my clients. Obviously, there's a time constraint. I also have a family now that wants to spend time with me, but we also enjoy this, and I feel that also the hotel enjoy it. We actually have clients that work with us for 15 years.
Oh, well,
So
that
we have
says a lot.
a relationship.
Yeah, that says a lot. Well, it's been very interesting to listen to the story. Really, very useful to get an understanding of the different component parts of Blastness and how you can help hotels. The pay on results targets, very, very different to what I typically hear. So that was great. And we look forward to working with you, playing our part in helping get your message out to a wider audience and let our European friends and our American friends hear about Blastness and what you guys can do. And look forward to catching up with you in the future to pick up on some of those points that we've discussed in here and explore in more detail. So thank you so much for your time. It's really appreciated.
Thanks to you, Trevor, and I'm looking forward for the next our next talks. I enjoyed very much this first one.
You take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Well, I hope that conversation was of interest, and thanks again to Piergiorgio for joining us. If you have any thoughts or views on this conversation, please feel free to comment below. And if you'd like the discussion, please don't forget a thumbs up. If you're interested in more of our videos, here is a link to our Expert Insights playlist, and here is a link to our Coffee Time Chat playlist. And here is the button if you'd like to subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. Thanks again for watching.